beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tribe. I like talking to you guys with Roxanne, so I'm gonna do the video here, and again, bring you guys the realness. I need to like pull it together a little bit. Maybe I should start doing bloopers because my goodness. Um, but hello everybody. I hope everybody is doing very well. There are tons and tons of changes in the universe right now. I did look to see what retrogrades were happening. Hopefully you did not miss the sale because I was doing a Pluto and retrograde sale over the weekend, and I have reduced the price by $20. So every once in a while I like to make sure that I accommodate everybody because things are happening that may be out of your control and you may not have realized that you wanted a reading or needed a reading until you need one. So I always try to be super flexible with everybody by every once in a while putting out a deal for everybody to be able to get a reading for even cheaper than what I normally do them, because I was doing a little bit of research and people are out here like charging like super crazy. So I did want to talk to you guys. First off, we are in the middle of Pluto and retrograde. Pluto is about birth, death, and rebirth. So pretty much Pluto is about cycles. So if something is not meant to be in your life, Pluto will push that out of your life. And the way that Pluto does that, I think this should be up higher. This should be where, let me see. This, like, still recording, of course. No, this is like too high. Weirdo. Maybe. No, this is like, well, whatever. I can like chill out a little bit more. The way that Pluto does that is forcefully. Pluto is the baby out of all of the planets. And Pluto being the baby means that he needs a lot of attention. You cannot ignore a baby. If you ignore a baby, you could kill that baby. So you want to be as careful as possible with a baby, and the baby will cry, 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 until it gets exactly what it needs. So you may be experiencing that right now in your life. You may feel like something is happening and you don't understand why it's happening, and it's forcing you to pay attention to whatever that thing is. For example, right now you're stuck in the house and you're stuck in the house bored. You know what I mean? So you're forced to recognize the issues that you have been battling within that you've been able to hide from. So you have issues in your relationship, you're not going to be able to hide from them anymore. If you have insecurities that you haven't been able to get over, they're going to be in your face. You're not going to be able to get rid of them. You're going to have to deal with them. You're going to have to actively approach the issues that you have with that person. That person's going to be constantly in your face, and you're going to have to deal with those situations because, as it's so, the baby always gets what the baby needs by any means necessary. So emotional stability is going to be something that we're all going to be battling. For one, you're going to be battling it because you're forced to not just embrace your physical home, but the home within, which is the body. So you're going to be forced to deal with whatever physical issues that you have with yourself, whatever emotional issues that you have with yourself. Many people may be feeling depressed. Many people may be feeling anxious. People may be dealing with stress because they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. They don't know when's the next time they're going to be able to get away from their spouse. They don't know the next time that, there's a lot of stressors that are happening. Right now, your biggest thing should be self-preservation, and you have to save yourself before you can save anybody else. So if you know that your spouse deals with XYZ, or that your cousin deals with XYZ, but you have to deal with XYZ first in order to even be able to help that person. You have to deal with XYZ first. When you're sitting in the airplane and they explain if something was to happen, you put your mask on first before you can help the person to the left or the right of you, that's real. You cannot save anybody unless you save yourself first. So you really have to take this time to focus. You're going to see tons and tons of memes saying alone together. Okay. People need to interact with other people. Now, social distancing, however you're handling COVID-19 or Corona or whatever you want to call it, is however you're handling it. But relationships are important. We are human beings. So if you need to force yourself to be on that Zoom date with your cousin, or you need to force yourself to have a weekly phone call with your coworker, it is important to continue on relationships, because speaking and communicating with other people is one of the things that humans are meant to do. Relationships are important for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. You cannot always be in your head. So I don't know if you need to get a pen pal. I don't know if you, whatever. Relationships, interacting with people is important. So take time to make sure that you are expressing yourself, not just, working out, not just eating right. That's important as well. Not just making sure that you're getting some form of outside sunlight, sitting on your balcony, standing outside for a few minutes. Some areas have curfews, so you want to be conscientious of that. I'm not trying to set nobody up for failure, but we are flowers and we need that sunlight. That's extremely important. Moving on, going back to how Pluto is going to be influencing us. Pluto is about birth, death, and rebirth. So the cycles of creating, building, living, and just really allowing something to flourish. So if you are working on your inner self through self-love, you're going to have to allow things to end. So being super hypocritical of yourself is going to have to end. Allowing people to get underneath your skin is going to have to end, which is going to allow for a rebirth. The rebirth is when you're able to rejuvenate, recreate, and flourish. Those can be very scary things. People look at rebirth as something that's nice and beautiful and easy. A lot of the times rebirth and birth are very ugly, hurtful, very, very, very painful situations. And through that comes something beautiful. So just take time to meditate and really think of what plants are you planting. Your plants are your seeds. The work that you put in throughout that process is the harvesting process. We are right now in the middle of the harvest. You have to allow yourself to think of what you want to do. Think of what you want to do. And then you have to put work towards that. You cannot just sit there and say, I want to grow a garden, and just sit there and be like, think my garden is growing. No, you have to either have a fruit already or have the seeds already. Then you have to go through the process of planting it. Then you have to go through the process of making sure, that the ground is ready for it, that you made a nice little area for it, that you water it. There's a process to everything, and that's cycles. The cycles come throughout that. Everything has patience. Now, if you didn't hear the video about Ogun and the importance of patience, and the previous video that I posted, which I recommend that everybody listen to, which was last week's energy, and I talked about Ogun and how he came in the city and he ended up murdering a lot of people because he felt like he was being disrespected, and he put so much work and risked his life to save everybody else's, only for no recognition and only for nobody to be thankful. And if he would have waited just a little bit longer, he would have saw that they were planning a celebration. So I recommend that we all recognize the importance of patience, not just patience with other people, but patience with ourselves. Everything is changing around you, which means that you have to change as well. You don't need to change your principles or your values, because with Pluto, Pluto is going to make you want to recognize what your values are and push you to make changes so that something can die, which is the death, and something can be born, which is the birth, or it could be a rebirth. So recognizing the patterns that we put ourselves through and just really being true to ourselves is going to be something important for you to know what exactly you want to do. People who do not know what they want to do are easily moved. And then they'll keep going on the boat down the stream, whichever way the water is going. And then at some point they end up somewhere and don't know how they got there. If you have steady ground and steady feet and know which path you desire to go, you're better off to end up where you want to be. You're leading yourself there. Now, a lot of people need help getting themselves stable and grounded. And a lot of people need help to sort through their thoughts. And that's what I'm here for. So as per usual, you know how to reach me. You know how to find me. You can easily DM me and we can figure out a plan to get you prepared for this time. There's going to be tons of changes. The changes have not ended. And the way that things are moving, a lot of people are going to get left behind because they did not get ready. Getting ready is not just about physical actions. It has to happen in here before it can happen out here. All things work from the inside out. Everything from the inside out. So embrace Taurus season by working towards whatever goals that you want. Taurus season always blesses everyone that works hard for what they want. Now, my working hard may be different than your working hard because we're all different. So I ask you all, just take time to step back and think, what do I want? Many of us are blessed with a new start. Many of us were given blessings that we haven't recognized that we have yet. If you 3-4 months ago would have done anything to be able to rest in your bed instead of having to wake up at 5 and rush to work and be at work for 13 hours standing on your feet to only get your check and it be gone because you have all these bills that you didn't realize that you had, and now something happened to your car and now you got to pay, only to be broke and do the cycle over and over and over again and just wake up and dread having to leave your bed. If you are one of those people, take this time as a blessing. You have a home. Vagrancy laws are real. If you need to Google that and understand that you ain't gonna be kicked out of your house, then you need to Google that. And not just vagrancy laws, but we deserve to rest. Our bodies need rest. So rest and think of what hobbies you want to start, and think of what things that you wanted to do that you were not able to do because you had to rush through life and you had to rush and do things the way that other people, shaped your life for you. You can regroup and recreate. Many things are virtual. It is 2020. Pull your vision together and make it happen. Things change, and things have always been changing. The life that we live is completely different than the life that our parents lived. The life that our grandparents lived is completely different than what the life that we are living currently right now. Things evolve, rebirth, things change, death, and things start up again, birth. Appreciate that, my beautiful tribe. We'll talk soon. Thank you for learning and growing with me.